Something about Donald Trump.
Is that okay? Good. I want you to be very happy. It's very important to me. But in all fairness to Secretary Clinton, the NAFTA agreement is defective, talking about that later. We cannot let it happen. By Mayor Bloomberg, our country's in deep trouble. What they're doing to us is a very, very sad thing. Unless they're taking our jobs. Let me give you the example of Mexico. They have a VAT tax.
Mr. Trump's sniffling became a viral sensation, but the reason behind it is still up for debate. People on social media speculated he was suffering from anything from allergies to a cold to something else. This morning on Fox and Friends, the Republican nominee denied he was even sniffling at all.
No sniffles, no. You know, the mic was very bad, but maybe it was good enough to hear breathing. But there was no sniffles. I don't have.
So you don't have a
no
cold?
Allergy. No cold.
Okay.
Every once in a while, but no cold.
A body language expert and physician, Dr. Jack Brown, joins us now. First of all, what do you make of what appeared to be sniffling?
Most likely it's due to anxiety. People will sniff like that when they have a high level of anxiety, although sometimes you will see a deep sniff intake, a deep respiration like that when people are in the middle of contempt, like this, or when they tell a deception. Sometimes you'll see that. But he did it at least 40 times deeply, I counted, and a bunch of other times less deeply.
It was the first time that Clinton and Trump had interacted in person as candidates. I think a lot of people were wondering how that would go. I want to take a look at how they each greeted each other off the top, and let's talk about what you think their body language said. So what do you make of this?
If I was counseling Mrs. Clinton, I would tell her she should have turned a little more towards Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump shook hands like he often does. He pulls the other person in towards his torso. And so I would say he could have done that for intimidation purposes, but that's his normal M.O. He also patted her on the back, and I would have recommended against that. And by him going in her personal space like that, that was a lot of off-putting to a lot of people.
You know, it seemed almost immediately Donald Trump was drinking a lot of water, which is something he had kind of made fun of Marco Rubio for in the past. And he continued to do it throughout the debate. And I don't think Secretary Clinton, that I saw, drank any water at all.
I agree. I counted 11 for Mr. Trump and Secretary Clinton 0, which, you know, it's a normal physiologic response when you get nervous that your throat gets dry. So the fact that she didn't need it means that she was very much in her game.
I want to look at Hillary Clinton when the issue that's really dogged her this entire debate or campaign came up, her emails. What stood out to you about her body language during her answer?
I think that was when she got most nervous. She displayed most anxiety. Her rate of blinking went way up. And when you are anxious, when you're nervous, your blink rate goes way up, and hers did. And she had more extended blinking too, so for longer duration. She also tilted her head back. So that was those were signals that she was getting most anxious about that section of the debate more than any other.
When Donald Trump's taxes was brought up, what did his body language tell you then?
He had a definite, his mouth went into a fear expression, and that was one part that really bothered him. Huh. His corners of the mouth went back and down. He also rocked back and forth on his feet laterally several times pretty quick. If you watch it, it's quite noticeable, and that really got to him, that section.
Also, as far as how the two candidates were standing during the debate, what stood out to you?
Mrs. Clinton, she stood with her shoulders square most of the time. Donald Trump, if you notice, he bent down to that microphone a lot, and which he shouldn't do. That microphone's good enough to pick him up from there, of course. He also was tilting forward at his waist, even when he wasn't bending down. His torso was also turned towards her. So all these things make him look like he's subordinating himself to her alpha. He's looking like a beta to her alpha. He shouldn't have done any of that. So that's she stood though with her shoulders square, and when she looked over him, it was just her head turning, not her torso. And by doing that, she maintains her alpha status.
How would you grade both of them?
I would give Donald Trump C And I'd say Secretary Clinton A-.
You're not talking content, you're just talking body language. You get him
just with the nonverbal, yeah,
right.
just with the nonverbal, nothing else, yeah.
It's so fascinating to look at this body language stuff. Jack Brown, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Anderson.
Well, still ahead in our next hour, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump hitting the campaign trail, running just hours after the most watched debate in American history, both claiming victory, neither one backing down. The